All right, so I have a couple of questions for you. So we're going to talk about Hidden Fates today. I want to know where Hidden Fates ranks, like on your tier system, you know, of sets that have been released by Pokemon. Are you talking like Hidden Fates is a #1 set? Like no set's ever been better than Hidden Fates. Hidden Fates is top 3. Hidden Fates is top 5. Where does it rank in your all-time release of Hidden Fates? It's hard to believe, but Hidden Fates is already almost 4 years old. It came out, it was like August 23rd, August, right around there of 2019. So it's been out for almost 4 years now. Kind of a tiered release system like what we saw with Crown Zenith. We talked about Crown Zenith a couple days ago, and we're kind of doing these specialty sets to give us a good understanding, maybe a bit of a barometer on what to expect on singles for Scarlet and Violet 151. Obviously, we know what's going on with Pokemon Card 151, Japan's most recent release. Absolutely nuts. Things have sold out all over the place. The Master Ball Reverse Holo, which you get 1 per box, is going crazy in a lot of different cards, and it's crazy. It's crazy to even look at. It's crazy to see. Obviously, we shouldn't expect anything close to that kind of supply issue when it comes to Scarlet and Violet 151, which comes out in September of 2023, so just about 4 years after the release of possibly Pokemon's biggest specialty set ever released. And I remember Hidden Fates kind of came out at a time where Pokemon was a little bit on the decline in September or August of 2019. Pokemon wasn't doing as great. Hidden Fates was a little bit interesting because wasn't a whole lot of competitive playability when it comes to Hidden Fates. There wasn't a whole lot in the set. It was a true collector set, which a lot of people in the community were like, well, how is this really going to perform? But people were going to Targets, to Walmarts in droves. They were buying Hidden Fates ETBs off the shelves. Literally, it was flying off the shelves like crazy. Hidden Fates could not stay in stock for the longest time. They reprinted it several times, especially in tin form. Those Gyarados tins, the Raichu tins, the Charizard tins, those got reprinted 2, 3, 4 times even in mass quantities as well. The ETBs had reprints for years. There was a couple of reprints that came earlier on, and then in December or January of 2021, 2 years after the set had been released, we had another massive reprint of Hidden Fates ETBs because the ETBs had crossed $300 a piece. $300 for an Elite Trainer Box, 10 booster packs. That's all you get in a Hidden Fates ETB, selling for over $300 at that time. There was one time where they were up to like $350, $360. It was absolutely insane. Obviously, the chase card, that Shiny Charizard GX, but a lot of other really cool cards in the set. We're going to talk about some of them in this video, but mostly to try and get a better understanding of what to expect from Scarlet and Violet 151. So we saw Crown Zenith the other day. We talked about Crown Zenith a lot. Crown Zenith, great set. I really like Crown Zenith. I love the artwork on it. But the singles, because of the release schedule, because of that tiered release system, and how many packs have been opened, Crown Zenith singles have just absolutely tanked, which is great because it gives a lot of collectors the opportunity to fill their master set. But then when we look at Hidden Fates, now 4 years old or closing in on that 4-year mark, is this something that, hey, in the long term, you can kind of expect from some of these specialty sets? So you can let me know in the comments section down below what you think. If you like the content, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on the video, share the video, leave a comment. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it no matter what. If you want to go back and win a booster box of Pokemon Card 151, we're giving one away every single Friday. All you have to do is go back to the video we posted last Friday, leave a like and a comment, and make sure you're subscribed, and then come back this Friday, come back every Friday until the release of Scarlet and Violet 151 to see if you are a winner. We're calling it Pokemon 150 Fun Day. Such a corny name. Yeah, okay. I'm going to flip you guys around. Let's talk about Hidden Fates for a second. We're going to talk about the Elite Trainer Box to start. I'll go over a few sealed items and then kind of tap into the actual set. Hidden Fates doing extremely well over the past several months. You can see here, just looking at the TCG player graph, we're sitting at a year high right now, and it's really been trending in the upward direction. You can see things kind of tapered off a little bit for Hidden Fates. It wasn't being as open as much, but I think a lot of focus kind of went on those alternate arts, chasing alternate arts from the Sword and Shield block, because really after Battle Styles came out, Hidden Fates had that reprint really started going down in singles because it wasn't a chase card. There weren't as many chase cards for a lot of people because they were focusing more on the alternate arts that were coming out in Chilling Reign, in Evolving Skies especially. A lot of people focusing on those evolutions, and for a while Hidden Fates featuring the Umbreon GX, the Leafeon GX, the Glaceon GX, the Espeon GX, the Sylveon GX had a lot of evolution cards in it that people were kind of chasing. And then when Evolving Skies came out, it was like, hold the phone for a second. This looks awesome. I want to focus on these alternate arts instead of worrying about these full art shinies. But Hidden Fates, the first introduction really of these shiny Pokemon that we had, obviously they tried to replicate that in Shiny Shining Fates. That didn't go over nearly as well, and they printed the absolute heck out of Shining Fates, but Hidden Fates still doing very, very well. And you can see in December it hit that 1-year low of 148.98. Really started climbing after that. Now it's sitting at 173.55 and continuing to trend upward. If you look at some of these listings on TCG Player, low quantities available and really price differential really starting to climb up. So Hidden Fates ETB is doing extremely well. Same thing for the tin. So we are only looking at the Charizard GX tin, but the same thing is happening with the Gyarados tin and the Raichu tin. Obviously, we talked before about these being reprinted a multitude of times, but you can see just like the Hidden Fates Elite Trainer box, this dipped down to about $61.44 in December, and now it's gained about 12-13% over the last 7 months or so, which is extremely strong, up to $68.86, which is a 1-year high. You can see it close to that in July of 2022, where it was just above $67, then dipped down, and now it's been rising ever since then. Same thing with the Raichu, same thing with the Gyarados, but the Hidden Fates booster pack is doing extremely well, and this is the one that I really wanted to highlight because of how much it's grown over the past 7 months or so. You can see very leveled off, very consistent. Last time we talked about Hidden Fates was about 6 months ago. It's been a while since we kind of covered this because it was so stagnant. It was so level for a very long time. You can see in December of 2022, right around $16 a booster pack. In September of 2022, it hit that 1-year low of $15.47. But Hidden Fates booster packs for about a year and a half, right around that $15 mark. You can find them from anywhere between $13 and $16 for an extremely long time. And now over the past 7 months, really started to skyrocket. You can see in December of 2022 kind of shooting up closer to that $18 mark, and then in May of 2023 hitting a 1-year high of $18.85. Now it's backed off a little bit at $18.69, but again, not a whole lot of available listings on TCG Player. Hidden Fates still a set that a lot of people like to open, like to crack, like to chase cards. However, getting to a point now like Team Up, like what we saw with Team Up, where cards are, I mean, it's booster packs are a little bit too expensive to open. Like, is it really worth the gamble to open up some of these booster packs when they're selling for $18, $19, $20 a piece? But Hidden Fates booster packs doing extremely well. If we look at some of the singles, Charizard GX on the rise, one of the few Charizards that's actually doing extremely well right now. A lot of singles, a lot of modern singles not doing as well right now as what we may have seen about 6-7 months ago. You can see in March of 2023, this one hit a 1-year low of 347.61, but it has started to rebound a little bit. It's gone up almost 10% over the last couple months, sitting at 379.67. Now still well off of its 1-year high, which it hit in July of 2022, where it was very close to that $400 mark, sitting at 395.46, but definitely trending in the upward direction. Umbreon GX doing extremely well, different than the Charizard GX. This one's just been climbing and climbing and climbing. This one was down to almost $80 the last time we looked at Hidden Fates as a whole. 82.22 was its 1-year low, which it hit in November of 2022, and after that really started to rise, jumped up over $100 in February, backed off a little bit, and then started taking off again, and now it's sitting at a 1-year high of 110.22, the second most expensive card in the set. The Cynthia also doing extremely well, like what we've seen from a lot of full art supporters, a lot of full art trainers. If you look at the Skyla, for example, from Shining Fates, doing extremely well. That card was a $7 card not too long ago. Now it's selling for $20, $25 a piece. Cynthia also putting in some work. In July of 2022, this card was down to a 1-year low of $65.31, started to climb, and then in December backed off a little bit. January, you can see it was back down to about $70, and then took off like a rocket after that in May, very close to that 1-year high, leveled off a little bit, sitting at 86.88, which is a 1-year high for that Cynthia. If we look at the Sylveon GX, very close to a 1-year high, currently sitting at $70.40, which is way above its 1-year low, which it hit in September of 2022. It was down to $60.49, so it's jumped almost 20% over the last 8-9 months. Now in July of 2022, it was at that 1-year high of $71.59, so like a lot of these other Hidden Fates singles, it backed off a lot, kind of hit a 1-year low in September, October, November. That's where we see the valley for a lot of these Hidden Fates singles, and then just started taking off like crazy, sitting at $70.40, very close to that 1-year high. Espeon GX, another evolution, doing extremely well. A little different than the one we just looked at, or a little different than the Cynthia that we just looked at, because in July of 2022 it was only around $50. Did start backing off in December of 2022. It hit that 1-year low of $43.33, but look at how much it's gained now over the last 8 months. I mean, you're looking at $23 of growth, so almost 50% of growth over the last 7-8 months, sitting at $66.50 currently. That's a one-year high for that Espeon GX. If we look at the Mewtwo GX, this one was actually trending downward when we last looked at Hidden Fates. You can see in December of 2022, it was down to $40.28. Since then, it's gone up almost 20%, sitting at $46.73 currently, but coming off of a one-year high, which it hit in June of 2023 at $48.35. So Mewtwo GX performing extremely well. Leafeon GX, a little different than the other ones. This one's actually kind of trending downward a little bit. You can see in July of 2022, it was at that one-year high of $36.41. It's almost 20% lower right now. You can see that dip in September of 2022. And like what we saw from the Espeon GX, started to climb a little bit in May of 2023. It was close to that $34, $35 mark before backing off a little bit, sitting at $32.75 currently, so much closer to its one-year high than its one-year low. But some of these other ones like Greninja GX doing extremely well. This one's up about 30% over the past 7-8 months or so. In August of 2022, it was down to $24.29. That was a one-year low for Greninja, and it's been very consistent since then. You can see very little stagnant action anywhere. From September to December, it was a little bit level, but then started to climb again. You can see in May of 2023, it hit that one-year high of $33.65, fell back a little bit, sitting at $31.89 currently, but still much closer to that one-year high than that one-year low. Lucario GX, the shiny, this one's really cool. I really like this one. This one's doing extremely well as well, up about 30% over the past 8 months. In September of 2022, it was sitting at $20.26. That was a one-year low for this one. Started going up a little bit, leveled off between December and March, December of 2022 and March of 2023 before starting to take off again. Hit $27.58 as a one-year high at the beginning of June. Now it's backed off a little bit, but barely lost a quarter, down to $27.31, so still doing extremely well. Lady is another one of those full art trainers that I wanted to talk about because it is doing so well over the past year, much like what we just talked about with that Cynthia, what we were talking about with that Skyla from Shining Fates. In July of 2022, this was at a one-year low of $11.21. Started to go up a little bit, back down in September, and then started going up again. You can see in January of 2023, it started leveling off, but still slow, consistent growth after that. And then in May of 2023, shot up even more, sitting at $17.97 currently. So that's a one-year high for that lady card. Jesse and James, another very interesting one, because when we last looked at bulk cards that really just started taking off out of nowhere, this Jesse and James was one of them. You can see in December of 2022, this was a $4 card coming out of a one-year low in July of 2022 when it was at $4.88, but very level all the way through December of 2022, and then started to climb. This was one of those cards that got bought out when full art trainers got bought out a few years ago when the market was being manipulated a little bit. Jesse and James was one of those cards that was spiking up to $25, $30, backed off a lot, and you can see it fell all the way back down to $4 or $5 a piece, and then in December of 2022, for some reason, just started taking off again, and then you saw a huge increase in February of 2023, where it basically went from about $12 up to $22, hitting that one-year high of $22.24, and now it's backed off again. So now it's sitting at $14.77. Might come back down a little bit more. I don't know if this card is really worth more than a $10 card, but very interesting to see and very interesting to keep track of. The last one that we're going to look at, there's a lot of Moltres, Articuno, or Moltres and Zapdos and Articunos in this set. Obviously, you have the stained glass bird version, you have the regular art, which is what we're looking at right now, and then you have the full art and the rainbow rare. Those are always all in the main series set, except for the stained glass one that was the ETB promo, but the main series set as opposed to the shiny Volt set. But it's always fun to kind of look at some of these that are doing extremely well, that are performing really well. And the bird trio right here, the regular art, doing extremely well. You can see in July of 2022 is at $5.52. You're looking at about 40% growth over the past year. Lots of peaks and valleys, but you get that with cards that aren't going to change a whole lot as far as actual dollar values go, but percentage wise, doing extremely well, sitting very close to a one-year high right now, sitting at $8.51. That is a one-year high actually for this one, so it's basically back to the point where it was in February of 2023. But not very often do you get a regular art card selling for above $8, especially when you have a set like Hidden Fates, which has been opened as much as it is. So you know there's going to be a lot of these Moltres and Zapdos and Articuno cards already on the market, already being opened by people. But now that the set is about 4 years old, a lot of people completed their master sets, not looking at selling as much of this. There's not as much on the market as what you might expect. Now that the set has been out for quite a while, people are focusing on other sets. So definitely very interesting set to look at. Is this a good set that we can use for long term when it comes to the potential of Scarlet and Violet 151? You can let me know in the comments section down below what you think. Obviously, a lot of OG Pokemon in Hidden Fates, but you also have some newer generations. You obviously have the introduction of shiny cards. We're not going to have that in Scarlet and Violet 151, but we are going to have those art rares, those special art rares, which is going to definitely make it a little bit different. Throwback to all the original 151. Might have some very cool long-term potential when it comes to storing up value and things like that. But let me know in the comments section down below what you think. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me ramble. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. It goes a long way for the algorithm. Share the video if you wouldn't mind. Thank you guys so much for everything. I really, really do appreciate you. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Until then, peace.